Whatever you feel, boy, we will handle it. We have come this far. We keep going.
Have no fear, Crashin is here. Hey, what's up, man? Durlin is one of many characters that we know nothing or nearly nothing about. By using my broad and creative imagination, as well as research, I will picture who Durlin the dwarf who is shorter than a goblin is. One of my many theories is that he could simply be a dwarf who steals and crafts, as dwarves are known for this. Another theory is how he could be a merchant and a blacksmith or tinkerer of weapons. However, I myself believe he is a retired traveler, a dwarf who's voyaged all the seas and every land. Egypt, Greece, Rome, the land of the Aztecs in Mexico, and so on. The scrolls which fill his home are stories, legends, tales, knowledge, and secrets. Decades of script that meant something when he was once young, but are meaningless now as an old dwarf. He simply enjoys sharing his knowledge with fellow travelers and educating them of the culture and ideas of these other people. There are numerous artifacts, collectibles, nets, buoys, chests, and other parts that make up a ship that are also in his home. For example, if you look at his person, he has a crocodile tooth from Egypt, a dragon head that originates from the Aztecs, as well as in the distance on what seems to be a potential desk, a bonsai tree from Asia, specifically China. Who knows what other items he has hidden away. Also, after all his voyages and journeys were completed, he returned back to his roots. For he is the one who made the guardian shield Kratos has today, as Sindri and Brock never claim it as their own. On top of that, the modifications to it now appear here in Ragnarok, as it's able to take different shapes, such as an oval and rectangle, and even being able to execute a, shall we call it a cyclonial slam, as a runic attack by the glow you see. Here's how I think we could come across him in the story. Kratos and Atreus hear of Durlin from Brock and Sindri. As to how, Atreus was asking the dwarves of the last place Tyr was, or at least the last trace he had left. They explained to Atreus that if they're seeking knowledge or answers, Durlin is the most capable of delivering what is asked. Obviously, the question is asked by Atreus, who is Durlin? Sindri and Brock explain how he is a fellow dwarf and an ex-traveler, one who truly loved it. Furthermore, stating how Tyr let Durlin be the captain of his ship. And so Atreus and Kratos head to Svartalfheim. Sindri offers to give a tour of his home realm. Atreus accepts. He lightly skims over all the realm has to offer. After this tour, Sindri points them to Durlin. He leaves them and Kratos and Atreus knock on his home. Durlin opens the door and solely lays his eyes upon Kratos, not even noticing anything else around him. Durlin immediately recognizes Kratos and takes a step back. In his mind, he is wondering why the ghost of Sparta is in Svartalfheim, let alone why he is at his own home. He remembers all of the horrors that this god once brought upon Greece in a matter of a blink of an eye. Atreus sees that Durlin is uncomfortable and talks, saying how they are here searching for Tyr or anything that could help them stop Ragnarok. Durlin realizes that Kratos no longer presents a threat and tells them he will try to help them as much as possible. And so he lets them walk in and he sits down. And so he lets them into his home and he conversates with us, informing us how back when he was younger, he used to travel with Tyr. How he once came up to him and asked him to be the captain of his ship, and how he of course agreed. Durlin did what he loved, which is to travel and explore all the different kinds of cultures and ideas each pantheon had to offer. And Tyr was fighting for what he loved, peace. Kratos cuts off Durlin, saying how we are here to learn of his last or current location, or if not anything or anyone that might help them. So Durlin gets to the point. We are let known of how one day Tyr wanted to travel back to a previously explored pantheon. Durlin says how he doesn't want to go back, but says he will. Tyr then says how he wasn't going to ask if Durlin wanted to come along. Tyr adds on how he's going alone as it's too dangerous in Greece, as there is utter chaos. Durlin is reluctant to let this happen, and he is also worried about Tyr's safety, but sees that Tyr has made up his mind. And so instead of wasting his time attempting to convince Tyr to stay behind, he chooses to say goodbye. And this was the last time he ever saw him. Atreus is dumbfounded by this and begins to ask many questions like, Greece? Why Greece? Did he have a debt to pay? Or was he going to some sort of confidential meeting where only he could go and not you? He could be in prison there. Durlin then states in how his mind, the thought was there wouldn't be much reason to head back, considering all that's left in Greece is nothing. Kratos, not wishing to hear his past brought up any further, says unless there's any other crucial information that could be of help, their business is done, and so they leave for now. By the way, I'm basing some of this off of the Fucuses and Captain Kuba's own videos. For one of my future videos, I plan on predicting the entire story like Captain Kuba. Besides that, I just wanted to say thank you for the amazing amount of growth the channel has been experiencing. We broke 600 subscribers and are already getting towards 700. We've also reached 100,000 views, baby. Let's go, baby. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. We reached 600 subscribers and we're already inching towards 700. And then we reached 100,000 views. I mean, I'm finna keep posting because my theories are crazy. My predictions are crazy. My entire story prediction for the game, it's gonna be utter imagination. So it's just gonna be me thinking of what these characters are going to play in the story, how I think they're going to play. That's how big my imagination is. I can come up with that stuff. It's just a matter of tying it into one another. So who knows how long that video is going to take me. Might take me like 50 billion days, or pretty much up until the time the game releases, which that would be pretty crazy. Enjoy the rest of your day, dog.